Okay, guys, sorry it took me a moment to get on. I have breaking news. You're not going to like it. Give me just a moment and I'll put it up on the screen. Something happened during that period. The NHL and the NHLPA have decided to postpone any game between now and Christmas that, sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once. Where am I at? Okay. There we go. Okay, they're going to, due to concerns about cross-border travel and given the fluid nature of federal travel restrictions effective on Monday, all games involving a Canadian-based team playing a U.S.-based team from Monday, December 20th through the start of the holiday break on the 23rd will be postponed and rescheduled. These additional postponements include on Tuesday the 21st, St. Louis at Ottawa, and on Thursday the 23rd, St. Louis at Toronto. So this is our last game until after the Christmas break, right? This will be the last game until after the Christmas break. Makes sense. Can't say that I have an issue with it. I think it makes absolute sense that they're doing it. Too many things in my ears. I don't have a problem with it, right? Well, I get that. Kyle Mead says Parayko pretty soft on both goals. Well, you know what? First of all, that pass from Stastny was absolutely perfect. I mean, I'm not going to blame. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. And they left Scheifele wide open. What can you say? It's 2-1 Blues. The Spetsnaz line assaults again, right? The special forces know how to do it. Tarasenko gets a perfect pass from Barbashev and drops it behind into the net. It's continuing. Overhyped. COVID fear is dumb. Society's lost its mind. Okay, Tommy, I get what you're saying. Okay, I really do. However, you are talking about, and this is what a lot of people forget, and I do it all the time. Like when a team's in Ottawa, I've heard him say, well, they're in the nation's capital. I'm thinking, wait a minute, they're not playing the Capitals tonight. You forget we have two separate countries here that have two separate laws and restrictions and ideas on how they handle this situation. So what's going to happen is, what the problem is, let's say you get a player that tests positive tonight and they quarantine him. Well, how do you think how would you feel if Tarasenko tested positive tonight and the Blue and had to miss Christmas with his 3 sons and his wife? This makes sense to me. Usually I'm not with that. And they're talking about that. That was in there. They are currently talking about the Olympics. There's a good chance it's going to stop it. I'm sorry. And Crush, you're right. It's not gonna stop it till it's eradicated. However, let me put this up again. Chris is asking what he missed. The NHL and NHLPA have try and put this up a little bit better for you. Due to concerns about cross-border travel and given the fluid nature of the federal travel restrictions effective on Monday, all games involving Canadian-based teams playing a U.S.-based team from Monday, December 20th through the start of the holiday break on December 23rd will be postponed and rescheduled. Those additional postponements include Montreal at New York, Anaheim at Edmonton on the 20th, Tuesday, St. Louis at Ottawa, Vancouver at San Jose, Wednesday, Montreal at the Rangers, the Jets at Dallas, Edmonton at the Lakers, and on Thursday, St. Louis at Toronto, Carolina at Ottawa, Montreal at the Devils, Anaheim at Vancouver, and Edmonton at San Jose. While a lot of people are not going to like this, I got to be honest, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I think it's a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out right in the middle of the game. You got it. He heard it here first, I hope. Oh, did you send Lance the link?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! Look what we got, Lance. The drop. Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to send the link. I was trying to cover this stoppage. I don't have an issue with it. You know, a lot of times I have an issue with the stoppage. Here I don't. Here I don't. And the reason I don't, it makes sense. And you don't want one of these guys to get stuck in Canada or in the U.S. and miss the Christmas holidays with their family.
I agree with that.
What do you think, Lance?
I don't have any problem with it. I've always been the type of person when it comes to illnesses, it's better to be overcautious than to be undercautious. And we're talking about players' lives here and their livelihood and their families. I know, guys, I get it. Most people do not die from COVID. I understand that. And people that are vaccinated, only a couple have died, and that's because of either not being fully vaccinated or only being partially vaccinated, and they had other health issues. The league is trying to go on the side of being cautious. There's nothing wrong with it. These players aren't losing their rights. The NHL is not taking away their rights. The NHL is saying, hey, we see a spike in these areas here in Canada, and the officials in Canada have said, we don't want players coming up here across the border because they could bring a new variant. They could, hey, you know, it's like I said about going to China for the Olympics. Do you want to be responsible for a guy, let's say Connor McDavid goes over there and plays for Canada, and he gets COVID? Edmonton Oilers don't have him for 4 to 5 weeks, and the Chinese government has said we may keep them longer. So, yeah, so let's stop talking about people's rights. Let's stop making it political. Let's make it a health issue, which I've always looked at it as. It's a health issue. If you don't want to get a vaccine, great. That's your prerogative. But don't tell other people they're idiots for getting them, and I won't tell other people they're idiots for not getting them.
I agree. And I'm sorry, Chris Shockley says in cancel sports. No, this isn't a canceling sports.
Nope.
This is something that I think people, and I tried to bring this up, we're dealing with two separate governments. Constantly, people forget that Canada, up there, these teams aren't another country.
And guy, they got to realize something. Each province up there, whether it's all the way out in BC to Manitoba, to Quebec, to Alberta, and the other one, it's each of those provinces, just like each state, has a right to say, okay, we're going to do this. Yeah. And these provinces have decided that, hey, in Alberta, they've decided we're not going to do this. And in other provinces that they've decided we're not going to do this. Yeah, you can say it's the federal government up in Canada, but basically what it comes down to it is each province is making that decision. So don't make this about a country or anything like that. This is about a province and about a city making a decision, just like Montreal did the other day, not to have people there. Yeah. Watch the game on TV. Hey, I've got tickets to see the Blues play the Kraken and their club seats. My son paid $250 for them. Will I be upset if I don't get to go? Yes. But in the long run, it's no big deal. It's a game.
Yeah, and Jose makes a great point, right? It's a highly contagious virus. And the thing, and let's remember this about a virus. Viruses don't die, no. Right? They don't die. They don't go away. Once it's like, what's the one that everyone's talking about now? Shingles, right? Shingles, when it shows up, it's showing up 30, 40, 50 years after you initially got it.
Yeah, basically, if you've had chicken pox, you've got the shingles virus in your body. It's just whether or not it's going to come out later on in life as shingles. And people get chicken pox vaccines. I'm going to get one because I had a terrible case of chicken pox. And with my nerve disorder from my stroke, I can't afford to have any more pain on that side of my body. People get vaccines for the pneumonia, for flu, for chicken pox, for a bunch of other things.
Yeah, no.
Hey, like I said, you don't want to get it. I still love you. That's your opinion. But I'm of the opinion that I'm going to get it and let everybody else decide. If a province or a state says we don't want people at the games because of it, don't wig out, guys. It's not the end of the world.
I think this is a smart decision. I really do. First of all, you are facing a league-wide pause. League-wide. Okay. Let's not do that. Let's look at the issue we have of cross-border travel. Okay, that's where it comes in. You don't want a guy to have to miss Christmas with his family. That's why we have the Christmas break. That's why we don't play games on Christmas Eve. That's why we don't play games on Christmas Day, and I think they don't play the day after anymore either, right? They took that used to be a special game for the Blues, the December 26th game, until the NHL went and said, no, it's going to switch. You're going to flip flop. One year you get games at home, one year you don't. But they've given those 3 days as family days. There's no practice. There's no league activities. Can't be traded, right? You can't have anything happen to you in those 3 days. And that makes so much sense.
Yeah, and you know, another thing is, and I want to get Ashley's take on this, but another thing is that people got all upset at me because I said the league office is looking at if it gets any worse or there's more shutdowns or, you know, we have a breakthrough in the cases, that Winter Classic may be canceled. You know, they're calling me an idiot and that I don't know anything. It is being discussed because it's a possibility. It really is. People say, well, they're outdoors. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but you're sitting next to 50,000 other fans. That does matter.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is all open. This is all new territory. Even though we dealt with it in 2020, it's all new territory. Ashley, you know, I know you've been dying to say a little bit more about it. What do you think?
Honestly, I mean, it can go either way. I think the fact that it's in Minnesota and not in Canada might bode well that it'll happen, but they might limit the amount of people that can be there. But I don't really see any indication right now that's leaning towards it being, you know, canceled yet. Just maybe limited.
No, you're right. The original word that came out was if they shut down, they were going to shut down to the 1st. Mm-hmm. The thing that I read, and I do research, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. I don't just pull shit out of my head to pull shit out of my head, guys. And I've been accused of that.
Yeah, you closet Blackhawks fan.
Yeah.
Chicago guy. I'm going to start calling you Chicago guy.
Can you believe that, Lance? Someone called me a Blackhawks fan.
A closeted
Blackhawks fan.
Is it because you're buddies with our Blackhawks fan up there and you're nice to him?
No,
is that why you're a
because of my article about
points percentage.
Points percentage.
Well, here's the thing. You've got to be honest when you're somebody in the media, whether it's a famous person with 50,000 downloads every episode or somebody with 50 downloads. You've got to be honest and have integrity. You can't have a bias, even if you don't like the Blackhawks personally. You know, you can't have a bias that way. You've got to tell it like it is. And I thought you told it like it is. I didn't see you as a Blackhawks fan.
Well, because, you know, that article was written, they looked at the majority of the people that looked and have blasted me on that article didn't understand the tone of that article.
Nah.
That article had nothing to do with the Blues.
No.
Except you tore apart their story.
It was used as an example.
Yeah. I think you would have been better off using the example that I think Lance used where he took a different conference and, like, if you look at, you know, these 3 teams, then the top one is this, but once you switch to points percentage, they drop down to 3rd.
Yeah,
I did do that later.
Well, yeah, because the Hurricanes, as when I posted it the other day, they were 3rd, but they have a higher winning percentage than I think it was Tampa Bay did. And they were the NHL didn't show their Hurricanes in 1st. They showed Tampa in 1st by points. The only time it comes down to a percentage guy is at the end of the season. And if one team, let's say during COVID, doesn't make up all their games, then they'll go by percentage.
Okay, I know, and that's the thing. Well, here's the thing: the standings don't show by going by points. They don't show the true standings. They really don't, because and I'll tell you what, and this is why I bring up that St. Louis issue. Everyone wants to say last place. I get it. In points they were. However, if the COVID had happened during then, and this is important because for the next couple of years, we have a chance of seeing COVID affect how many games teams play. If COVID happened, that on January 2nd or January 3rd, the morning of January 3rd, they shut the league down and COVID happened. Guess what? The last place team would have made the playoffs. How does the last place team make the playoffs? Because they weren't in last place. That's what I'm trying to get at. Yes, I know the NHL uses points. The purpose of the article was to say they shouldn't use points. They should use points percentage.
Okay, but you went into all Blues everything, which is the Blues rah rah, everything's good, Blues, yay, Blues, everything awesome.
Oh no, I
and
didn't
you
get
posted
toasted
something.
in that group.
You
I
did.
didn't just get toasted in that group. I got toasted in the NHL. just in NHL, I got toasted all over the place.
Yeah, but you took the Blues story that everybody's had their hearts on and you twisted it and tried to make people feel like fools. That's why you got roasted.
I didn't twist it. I unraveled it to show what the real story was.
You went too analytical on someone's prize story.
Okay.
Guy, I see where you're coming from, and you're right. At the COVID instance, they would go by percentage.
Yeah, but this is pre-COVID.
And I fully understand where you're coming up. But man, if you tear apart a Blues narrative, especially something like that, last to first, I saw you getting toasted, and I'm like, oh no, Guy, no.
But and that's the thing. They didn't understand the tone of the article. The tone of the article was I wasn't reaching out to the hardcore fan. I even said that in the article. Right,
but if they're not a hardcore fan, then they're the bandwagoners who still like that story.
Right? Well, the thing is, I'm talking about the casual fan that sits there and sees the Blues right now. They look at that. They have the same amount of points. They're showed in third. Okay, well, to them, they say tied second, but they're not because of the tiebreakers, right? Regulation wins.
I understand where you're getting at. I don't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to say something about the second period and about the Blues as a whole in this game.
We blew right by this, didn't we?
I saw that. I thought you'd like to bring it back a little bit there. The Blues have not played as good in this game defensively as they have in the last 3 or 4 games.
Okay.
Now, I feel bad for Bennington because I know what's going to happen if he loses this game, even if it's 2-1. We should have started Lindgren. Lindgren would have got a shutout in that game. And I don't want to hear it. Bennington is our starter. Lindgren is a 28-year-old guy who's played in 28, 29 NHL games. He's not going to be our starter unless something drastic happens. And if it's that bad to where he's our permanent starter, trust me, he will not be as good as Jordan Bennington 40 games down the road. I love the guy, and for what he's done, I always cheer for the underdog. But getting back to the game, the Blues have to shore up things defensively. They got to put more pressure on Hellebuck. And they're just not doing that. They're not keeping the puck in the offensive zone for a long period of time. It's in and out real quick, and they've got to do that.
Yep, no cycle. That absolutely, that's what we need. The game's almost on. Sorry, guys. We have the post game. It might be an extended post game the way this is going. Lance, you're looking better. Do I have you for the post game?
Yeah, I should be there.
Oh, this is great. This is going to be fun. And I'm not getting off my bandwagon. Okay, we'll see you guys all at the post game show.